Welcome, Yvette.
Hi, how you going?
Great. I'm so excited to have you with us today and to be able to speak to another veteran in the industry. We'd love to hear a little bit about your business and what makes you tick.
My name's Yvette. I'm from Canberra and I have a business called Massage Essentials. I started that in 2008 after I left a chiropractor that I had actually worked with for 9 years before then. So it was something that I had in mind that I wanted to do to share with other massage therapists.
Awesome. Awesome stuff. So, tell us a bit about first of all, why did you get into massage? What was your journey into that?
After I left school, I actually wanted to be a PE teacher, but my I didn't get a uni mark to get into uni. So my dad said to me, "You go get a job." So I worked at the Donut King for 12 months, and I worked Monday to Friday and partied Thursday to Sunday. So as you do as a 19-year-old, 18-year-old. And I fell pregnant with my first son. And that's when I thought I actually need to do something with my life and decided to apply for CIT. And I applied for the introduction to massage and what was the other one? Fitness instructor. And obviously, being pregnant, I couldn't do the fitness aerobics. So I did the introduction to massage and I absolutely fell in love with it. So I had 6 months off when he was born in the July. I went back and did the advanced diploma from the February after that. So for the next 3 years, while he was my little practice body, I studied massage.
Amazing. I love that transition from, kind of childhood and party girl to amazing massage therapist in especially the field that you've chosen to work in. It's a really cool migration process and journey into it.
Yeah, and
Um,
just becoming a mum, you just got to do what you need to do for your children.
yeah, definitely. So you said you worked for a chiropractor for about 9 years. And then as you kind of left that to then work for yourself, tell us a bit about what was that like, and did you hit any hurdles as you came through?
Yeah, I had no idea what I was doing. I was coming from working with a chiropractor as a contractor for 9 years I had a couple of staff that I contracted or subcontracted rooms to as well within his practice. So I thought it's time to get out and try my own thing. And I didn't know how to lease rooms. I didn't know how to approach all of that sort of thing, how to renovate within the rooms as well. So that was an interesting journey going through solicitors, landlords, getting all that sort of thing sorted out. I did have 100 square meter commercial space. And the idea was to create a multidisciplinary practice. But I also had 3 small kids then. So, it was very hard to massage and do reception and do all the things that needed to be done, as well as run a family. So I did have some contractor staff at the time because back then it was okay to contract. uh, it wasn't seen as not allowed to do, but it was a thing to do. And I had some good staff, but I also had some that just would ring me that morning and say, I can't come in. And I had 6 massages booked for them. So I've now got to reschedule or find space for those 6 massages. And that started happening quite a bit. So I just couldn't do it all on my own. The lease was actually for 3 years, but I cut it short after 12 months.
Yeah.
And I was able to get out of the lease. They were really good about it.
What was it like? Like just thinking into, okay, I'm going to leave the chiropractic clinic. I'm going to start this multidisciplinary practice, which lots of practitioners have that mindset of this is what I want to do. I want to work with other practitioners. I want to have a team around me. To then have to make the decision to pull the pin based on lifestyle circumstances and the reality of what was happening. What was that like to be you in that moment?
That was hard. That was really tough. It was a decision I didn't want to make. I don't quit. I don't fail. That's just part of what I've always done, who I've always been, is you just keep going. If you tell me you can't do something, I will say, watch me do it. So I was going to try this. I was going to give it a red hot go, and just to see, having to close and see the figures and just know that it's not going to work, accepting that was the hardest part that I had to do. But it's taking that step. Okay, what do we do next? There is life after having to close a clinic, and it's okay.
Yeah. And what for you, I guess, how is that how you deal with setbacks? Like if you experience something that means you have to take a side step or a different step to what you had anticipated, do you normally just break it down to bite-sized chunks? Like how do you manage?
No, I'll throw a tantrum first
Yeah,
because I don't want to
great.
do it. Yeah.
Excellent. Good to hear the
Yeah.
truth. I love that.
I don't want to do it. I don't want to close. I'm going to show you that I can do this. But when you start losing money, then you have to realize that something has to happen. So I have now learned to break it down into bite-sized chunks over the last couple of years. But yeah, no, previously I just threw a tantrum and just said, I can do this. So yeah, a little bit different now.
Through sheer will, I'll just make it happen.
I'm just going to make it happen. And yeah, to the point I was at work by 7 a.m. in the morning, and I was there till 8 o'clock at night, whether it was washing towels, doing reception, trying to make this work. And my family was suffering for it. So yeah, and that was the big turning point for me, was my eldest son got into a lot of trouble he was in the middle of high school. So he was then, getting into a lot of trouble. So
looking for attention all the wrong way.
I've seen the inside of every police station in Canberra. So let's just say that.
Yeah.
No, he got into a lot of trouble at high school, and yeah, it was just a family breakdown that I had to fix that first.
Yeah. And I think that's really, thank you for sharing that.
That's okay.
It's really it's true. Like a business is amazing and it's meant to enable and empower our lives. And there are times when if it's not doing that, it actually is detracting from some of the most important things in our lives, which is often our family, and our well-being and the things that we actually want to achieve in our lives. And we need to be able to have the courage to make those big decisions to go, I'm actually going to do it in a different way.
And I think now looking back, I was actually hiding from the family issues and playing in the business and getting the business. I'm going to make something work. I can't have both things not working. And I think that's sort of looking back at it, it was just, I didn't want to have to deal with all the bad stuff at home, that I could just keep working through, what was happening in the clinic.
And how did you move through that? How did you address that? Maybe not realizing at the time it's what you were doing, but how did you kind of navigate the wobbliness in both camps?
I don't really know, actually. I can sort of deal with it now. If it was to happen now, I would be able to deal with it. I didn't have the tools back then on how to deal with that sort of thing. So I think it came down to when the rest of my extended family, my 3 brothers, mum and dad, had to get involved and help, that's when I realized that I just can't keep pretending anymore. I just can't keep pushing through this clinic and losing money if my family's going to fall apart. And it got to the point where my son was in a lot of trouble, and we had to do family counselling. So for his sake, he actually went and lived with my parents for 6 months. And I think that was the big catalyst. That was the thing that just said, right, this has to happen. You just have to close. You can't do this anymore. The family has to come first.
Yeah. And so what did the next iteration of your business look like?
So I really had nowhere else to go. After that, I worked with another osteo for 6 months. But the main reason I left the chiropractor was he was wanting more money and more rent money. And I found that with the osteo as well, that, she wanted to put the rent up, and it was a little bit more than usual. And that's when I thought I could just work from home. My clients all said they'll see me anywhere. They'll see me wherever I am. So the 2 year, all the kids were sent off to school. in the morning. My lounge room converted into a massage room for the daytime, and at nighttime it all came back to a lounge room. And so I just worked from home for a couple of years in my lounge room doing that. Portable table, set it all up. Clients came in through the front door. Kids were all down in their bedrooms if they were home during the day. So my clients said they don't care where I massage. As long as I'm still massaging, that's all that matters. So to me, it didn't matter where I was.
Yeah. And I think it takes, like, I think sometimes it can be our ego that is like, this is what I'm doing. I'm doing it in this way. I'm being really stubborn. I'm sticking. I'm not going to be flexible. I'm going to stick to that outcome. And when we can kind of put that aside and just go, great, I'm actually going to have behavioral flexibility so that I still get to do what I love, and I can also be an exceptional mum and have a great family. ¿Por qué no los dos? Why can't we have both?
Yeah.
And to be able to have the flexibility to go, yep, you know what, I can convert my lounge room every day into a massage room and then convert it back into a family room, that's huge.
For me, I've come from a science background. So, a massage therapist has to be in a clinic. They can't work from home. They have to be, with other professionals. So having to work from home, I had nowhere else to go. It was my clients who taught me that it's okay. It wasn't something that I accepted straight away. It was my clients that they said, all I see is the towel underneath. I don't see anywhere else outside. That's all they see is, the handrest. That's it. So they were happy wherever, as long as I kept massaging. That's all that counted to them.
Yeah. And so I guess as you're learning, maybe after the tantrum, as you're learning, what agreements do you make with yourself as you're going through a messy stage?
I don't know. I think because I've been through so much, I think I just know that I'm going to get through it. So it's okay that, the next part will come, that you'll get through this. It's not going to be like this forever. Things will change and you'll actually get through it. So I think that's sort of the main thing that I've been teaching myself, especially the last number of years, is just, you'll get through it. It's okay.
Yeah. Look, I think that wisdom is good, that this is a season. It's not forever.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And it is a great reminder, and sometimes good to be able to talk ourselves off the ledge.
Yeah.
It's just a season.
It's just a season. And I've had lots of seasons. So it's nice to know that I know now that things will change and I can adapt. I don't have to, put my foot on the ground and stomp my feet and say, that's it, I'm doing this. I can change and I can flow.
All right. So working from home with lots of flexibility with the family, where to next? Where did you go after that?
So I was only seeing about 15 clients a week. Before that, we'd actually converted the pergola into my massage room and office. And clients wouldn't need to come through the house at all. So then I was just, seeing about 15 clients a week, and it still wasn't making enough to survive financially. So do I go into the public service, which is what most of Canberra people do, or do I keep trying this? And then you guys came along and popped up in my Facebook and changed everything. So that was in 2016.
Wow.
It's been that long. So I was able to double my income in the first year after that, and then I doubled it again the year after that, and so now hitting the six figures. But I also worked with and signed up as a contract with some osteos just to get out of the house a couple of half days a week. So that's been good, and I'm busy there too. So
yeah. And so what did you have to, if it wasn't making money that you wanted, and then obviously you've done a bunch of stuff in the last couple of years, what did you have to move through with your own beliefs in order to be able to double your income twice over?
I think it's having faith in someone else, trusting that someone else can actually help you. thinking that I can just do it all on my own wasn't working. It hasn't worked in the past. And just having the faith that someone else may be able to help. If it didn't work, it wasn't going to work. That's fine. But just allowing someone else to come in and fresh ideas. Yeah.
Yeah. And so was it putting your prices up was one of the things that usually changes the game? Because obviously if you start charging more, you start making more money.
That's right. Yeah.
What were the roadblocks for you to doing that initially?
I was worried that I'd scare clients away, which I think is a big thing for most therapists, is that, oh, they're going to leave and not want to see me anymore. But by then I figured out that if they're going to see me and see me in my lounge room, they're going to see me at $100 a massage in a beautiful massage room. So that made it much easier to then put my prices up.
Yeah. I think it takes a lot of self-trust to back yourself to go, okay, I'm going to put my prices up. I'm just going to make the decision. Someone's told me that I should, and oh, look at that. No one, the sun didn't fall out of the sky. Neither did the bird.
No one left. No one left.
No one left. So none of your clients left when you increase your prices.
No. I did have one leave when I put up a cancellation fee. Yep. But he was the one that was actually probably cancelling the most. So I didn't need that in my practice anyway. So other than that, no one else left.
And I think that this is actually a conversation around boundaries. I think when we know what we're worth, first of all, and secondly, when we become really clear on what it is we want and how we want people to behave around us, having cancellation fees in place and having a policy in place becomes so much easier, because it's not about, what will people think of me when I do this? And it becomes more about, actually, this is how I want people to treat me.
That's exactly right. Yeah. You need to respect me as well. Yeah.
Because when we add it up, and I know I've spoken to a number of practitioners who have done this, adding up all the cancellations in a year, it can sometimes be a week or two's worth of turnover and income.
Yeah, and I haven't actually done that. I might do that actually and see what it's like.
Yeah, especially at the moment. It's quite a bit of cancellations, but and I think that if people are, like you say, in the public service or they're employed, they will not understand that their massage treatment with you, that appointment with you, means paying the rent or the mortgage or buying food.
Yeah, that's right.
And if you only have a couple of cancellations here and there, it doesn't matter. But when you have lots of cancellations, or you have a prolific canceller at the last minute, that's when it starts to bite and make a difference. And I think that just teaching clients, that's all a policy is saying, this is what I believe and this is what I'm willing to stick to.
Yeah, that's right.
And being able to say that to them and say, this is how we do it here.
Yeah, don't ring me 10 minutes before and say, oh, I'm still stuck at work. Sorry, that's not going to cut it anymore.
No, exactly. And it does first of all, comes from knowing your worth. And secondly, I think from boundaries and being able to communicate that really effectively.
Yeah. And I've learned that now, is that I just, that was a number of years ago, but I just, I won't let any clients do that anymore to me. I still need to earn an income. I'm sorry if you're stuck at work. You did have this massage booked 4 weeks ago. And in my books now, 12 months ago, you had this booked. So you can't do that to me anymore.
Yeah. So you raised your prices. You've increased your boundaries around your time.
Yep.
What are some of the next challenges or iterations of your business? I know you closed your books to any new clients. What was that like? Tell us a bit about that.
That was during COVID. But I was also fully booked at the time. So there was sort of two reasons behind that. Was I didn't know the new clients coming in. So I didn't know what their boundaries were on hygiene. I knew what mine were. So I was just going to make sure that it stayed that way and looked after my clients. So I could work through COVID. I've actually just allowed 2 new clients to come back here to come in, and they're booked for this week. And just test the waters and see how we go. But there's just been a few cancellations that I can just fill a spot if I want to. But closing my books was exciting. It was fun. It was hard, but it was exciting at the same time to think that this is the point that I've got to. I've got to the status of a doctor or a sports physician that, they're not taking any more bookings. I thought that was pretty awesome.
And it is.
It is, yeah. I felt bad for clients that, were referred to me from friends and family that I was not accepting them anymore, but I had other places that I would refer them on to. So that made it a bit easier to do that as well.
And I think that that's part of learning as a practitioner as well, that we don't have to be the fount of all knowledge and wisdom. That if someone can't get in to see us and there's other options, we've got great practitioners around us that we can refer to, that also do wonderful and amazing things. Which is, it's a good lesson in that we don't.
I think it's important. Yeah, I think it's important to have those other people around you, so that if you are going to close your books, that you can refer to someone else. And even just having a couple of massages with them to make sure that they're what the client needs as well.
Yeah. So what was the next bit in this? So we're talking 2020. What was the last couple of years like for you?
I was able to work here in Canberra. Massage therapists, remedial massage therapists were able to work. It was quite tough at the beginning because there was a lot of fighting between massage therapists about who should be working and who shouldn't. I was actually told at one point that I am breaking the law and I will be reported. And this is by someone who I thought was a friend and a fellow massage therapist. So that was tough. But during the second, so I managed to get through COVID. And during our second lockdown last year, it was interesting that those therapists who said, no, you should be locked down, actually continued to work. And I was contacted by a number of them to ask what I was doing during the second lockdown, so that they could then follow protocols and things that I had set up in my clinic that they would then follow as well.
So you became the go-to person for standards of cleanliness and hygiene, what was allowed and accepted. Wow.
Yeah. So I had a couple of them contact me and say, what are your rules? What are you doing? And I just sort of gave them a list of all the things that I had sent to my clients on what I expected from them as well. It was great to be able to share that with other therapists.
Yeah. And that's really what it's about. It is about collaboration in terms of
it is
sharing resources and knowledge and wisdom on knowing, I can help you with this and you can help me with that.
Yeah, I love that. I love being able to share that with other therapists. And there wasn't a lot of that in the first lockdown here in Canberra. There was a lot of division through the massage therapists here in Canberra, which made it tough. But a few of them came around the second time because I realized that, hang on, I've got to make some money as well. So, they came around to the hygiene standards and continue to work for themselves, which is great to see that they're able to continue working.
Yeah. And like you said, just being that role model and being that leader and that person that people look to can be really powerful. What was that like for you?
That felt good. It was good. I love helping other therapists. I think because I have that experience now and so many different experiences, that's what I want to give now. That's my next step, is to give back to grad students, other therapists that, even 10 years, 15 years experience, it doesn't matter. I love sharing what I have learned, like you have. You're sharing everything that we've learned, whether it's good or mistakes that we've made. It's just being able to share that info with other therapists so they can succeed as well.
Yeah, definitely. And so where to now? Now that everyone's looking at you and you're kind of got this heart to share, like what's the next step?
I'm writing some books at the moment, well, an ebook, just a couple of pages to start with, to share how to, for grads or students. So just a couple of little things like rebooking, finances, making sure that you're paying your super if you're a contractor, and all those sorts of things. So learning how to talk with clients for the first time, because a new client is pretty scary sometimes. So just learning how to talk with clients. So just wanting to share, get everything out of here and share it with everyone.
And that, 25 years worth of experience is such a valuable thing, especially when the average lifespan of a therapist is 3 years. 3
Yeah.
years.
Yeah,
And it's
that's
like
it.
you've got, I don't know, quadruple that or more, which is awesome. And I think to be able to bring that wisdom to people who are just graduating right now, it's what the industry needs. Because if we're going to get people past that 3-year mark, people leave the industry because they are broke or tired or overwhelmed or it's not working. They don't leave the industry because they're making lots of money and feeling like it's working really well and they're thriving in their practice.
That's right, exactly.
People tend to stay around when that's happening because, hey, it's enjoyable and fun.
Yeah, but I think a lot of it also comes down now to, I know at CIT, the diploma is only 12 months. So there's a lot of work in the background that still needs to be done to bring that back up to standard. I don't know how I can help with that, but I would love to get involved with that in some way. A diploma for massage, it needs to be at least 2 years. So I think a lot of the grads and students, they're only getting 12 months worth of knowledge. And, how much business in that are they getting? How much anat and fears are they getting in that? So, whatever I can share, I'd love to be able to help them.
Yeah. So watch this space. I'm excited.
Awesome. I'm excited.
Yvette, thank you so much for your time today and for sharing your story. I think it's just if people were to look at your business now and just take a snapshot, you can see this incredible practitioner who's charging what she's worth. She's seeing the right amount of clients that she wants to see and living life on her terms, which is amazing. And the previous years of learning and challenges and overcoming and learning and overcoming and learning and overcoming, I think it's exactly what this podcast is about. And I think it's really important to hear stories like this. And I just want to thank you for your time today to be able to hear your story spoken so elegantly as you have.
Thank you so much for having me. And thank you for allowing me to share. I'm really looking forward to being able to share more with everyone.
Beautiful. Thanks, Yvette.